So imagine a job that no one has ever in any lifetime ever enjoyed. It's always just been bring the money in and I'm gonna leave as soon as I can. I hate this job. That's right, baby. This is it right there. I even got a name tag. See, KFC is a restaurant with makes fast food, fried chicken. Oh boy, it's so tasty. I worked at KFC for 2.5 years. I started when I was a teenager on the eve of my 16th birthday, and I quit when I was middle of being 18. I was an adult and I was like, not gonna do it. Yes, I quit. I left. Didn't want to be there anymore. It sucked. Now let me tell you why, because that's probably what you're wondering, because it's the title of the video. Main reason, it was just a sucky job to have. I don't think anyone who's ever done that job is passionate about it, unless you're like a manager, but even them, I think they just hate life. Kitchen, hot and greasy. Duh, it's a chicken place. You were sweaty and greasy and salty and really bad place to be standing for like sometimes 8 hours at a time. The hours were terrible. Granted, I was a teenager. Granted, I was casual. They could have given me a lot more work and it really sucked. Although, to be fair and the devil's advocate, they were pretty good comparatively to other fast food places I've heard. Apparently Hungry Jack's, the wages are just absolutely terrible. So props to KFC. When I did work, they paid me well. See, the reason no one gets any shifts, they hired a bunch of like 14-year-olds and they just put them on as much as possible. So if you were 18, the lowest adult possible, you were too old to get shifts. What kind of business model is that? Oh, let me tell you, we were not treated like kings. No siree. The workers, people like me, people who did the tills, made the food and did the actual work, we were treated terribly by not just customers, but managers as well. We were asked to do stuff that we should not have been trusted with or asked to do. The customers crap on you all the time for stuff that's not your fault. Sometimes it is. There's a lot of human error, but we'll get to that. Pretty much everyone in any direction was treating you terribly. Your manager was shouting at you for not being quick enough. The customers were shouting at you for the same reason. But Dan, why don't you just be quicker, you idiot? Yeah, alright, well listen, okay? We don't get trained properly. I knew how to do my job. I was fine. Those 14-year-old youngsters hanging around, they don't know jack shit about how to do anything. They're only there because they're cheap and young. A lot of the time, they were real idiots. They're trying to make money, capitalism, it's great. But they were dumb Let me tell you some things that were nice. Free uniform, which was dope. I've heard some other places make you pay. Thank you, Colonel. The discount on the food was 20%. That is insanely good, especially compared to a lot of other food places I know. 20% is a really generous discount, but because the food at KFC, subjectively, is quite good, you end up eating there a whole lot. Didn't eat a lot of KFC before I worked there, and then, oh boy, I was eating a lot of it. Partly because if you do like a night shift, when you close up, you get to eat all the chicken that's left, which is a bonus taste-wise, but health-wise, you're gonna be in a bit of trouble there. You give a ton of free food to friends and family. You're not supposed to. I'm not sure if it's illegal, but I tell you what, a lot of bloody off-the-shelf discounts when I was working there. Not necessarily by me. Maybe not. Sometimes, I don't know if a 3-piece box is supposed to have 5 pieces or 6 pieces. I don't know. Maybe when I recognize my friend, I forgot what they order. I'm like, was it a 3-piece box or was it like a family feast or a giant box? I may as well just play it safe and give them a giant box. That's the kind of workplace shenanigans that you got up to at KFC. And as you giveth, you receiveth. I think. I treated my friends and family a lot. When I was a customer, maybe some other employees treated me as well. Who knows? There's nothing I could confirm. While working there, I got to eat and drink a lot. I did not spend a lot of money, but I would not like to admit to any theft. There's a lot of food flying around, a lot of drinks flying around. If you're thirsty or if you're hungry, then you're in luck. It's a nice place to work in that sense. Like, you just get to during a shift. Tell you once again, it gives you a bit of a belly. So that's something to watch out for. That's how the Colonel gets you. The one thing that I would do, which should tell you about the conditions, I would just go and stand in the freezer for like 5 minutes at a time and just go on my phone. It was so hot and disgusting out in the kitchen. The freezer just cooled me down. Also, I just didn't want to do any work. I wanted to stand and check my phone and chill out and just not do anything. Any KFC employees, the freezer's a good place to hide. Don't have to do much work. Because you can be all like, look, I'm getting drinks for the fridge, doing some work, but you're not doing work. You're checking Tinder, you cheeky bastard. One thing that really just made me sad more than anything, the managers were so stingy. Oh my God. Sometimes a customer would come in and they'd say, oh, this meal wasn't quite exactly how I liked it. And the manager would be like, look at it. That's good enough. Get out of here. I mean, they gave a lot of benefit of the doubt. And a lot of the time, some customers did get refunds. The managers would only do it if it was absolutely necessary. Whenever the managers would make food and put them in bags to help us, which was very rare, by the way, the managers hardly would help. But on the rare occasion that they did, those chip boxes were like half full. The burgers were a tiny little of mayo. It sucked. And so little lettuce. Like, just be generous, dudes. Come on. Why you gotta leave like a third of the box empty? That's the manager playbook and made me annoyed. Pissed me off. Ugh. As a side effect of the fact that the kids were so young and dumb and cheap is that the wait times were terrible. People got so annoyed. I can't blame the customers for getting annoyed. Our store sucked. We were so bad. We got stuff out so slowly. It's supposed to run like clockwork, and it was like a stopped clock. We were only right twice a day. It was a mix of undertrained staff and not enough staff. So a lot of the time they wouldn't put many people on because people are expensive. And the people that they did put on were cheap, dumb, and weren't trained. So all of that coming together meant a lot of the time the customers were waiting 10 minutes for food, up to 20 minutes sometimes. It was ridiculous. And that alone just made me, why would you want to work somewhere where you're not proud of anything that you do? We weren't making customers happy. They were happy when they ate. Most of the customers we served were pissed off by the time they left. Why would you want to work there? I didn't. That's why I left. To surmise, I left because of a mix of all those things. Eating too much KFC, maybe a bit unhealthy. The hours were terrible. Really, that was mainly it. I was 18, I needed to have a working wage. Weren't giving me enough shifts to actually survive. I quit and I started my own maths tutoring business, baby. That's right, I'm a maths whiz. I can do maths. 2 + 2. It's 4. But yeah, look, moral of the story is if you work in a KFC, if you need the money, I can't tell you to quit. I'm not about to tell everyone to just bloody up and leave their jobs, but if you get anything slightly better, oh boy, you should take it. You won't regret it. Just under a year, I've been away from KFC, and I got no regrets, baby. I'm living life. I'm loving it. I'm dancing all the time. I'm always doing this. That was why I left KFC, and I guess stories from KFC. That's what it's like to be a KFC worker. Really ain't good. Honestly though, the best part was seriously, if you did a closing shift, the closing shifts sometimes went to like 1 AM or like midnight, depending on which staff you had. But if there was a lot of chicken left by the end of the shift, literally all the chicken that was there, you could just eat. Some managers were like, don't eat the chicken, throw it away. Some were like, have at it. So if you had those managers, and if there was a lot of chicken at the end of the night and you were closing, 10 o'clock, bloody turn the lights off and you could just, my precious. It was beautiful. It was it was beautiful. Why don't you go have something from KFC? It's still a nice store. I don't hate KFC. I just hate working there. Please don't sue me, KFC. Let's get the thumbnail picture. Try it with the hat, maybe that'll be extra dramatic. It's supposed to look like I'm really sad that I left KFC. You know, it's like a why I left BuzzFeed. Like, they harassed me. They never harassed me. I just wanted to leave. So, gotta have that clickbait thumbnail. Speaking of clickbait, why don't you check all these out? Have a look at everything else I got online. Maybe you'll be impressed. Maybe not. Thank you. Please come again. Always welcome here. Goodbye. Oh, and subscribe too. Thanks.